This is a Soul Hit production.
You have now tuned into Insight Sundays, the show that brings you relevant news, youth and political topics with a new direction and focus for our communities. Log in with Facebook and get connected. Here's your host, Adrian Mickens.
What's going on, Indianapolis, and welcome to another edition of Insight Sundays right here on AM 1310 The Lights and Facebook Live. As always, to give a shout out to all of our sponsors, which are Andrew J. Brown Academy, Indiana Christian Leadership Conference or ICLC, Buttons and Bows Hair Salon, but there's the Temple Southeast Campus, New Vision Lighthouse Ministries, Hair Artistry Indy, Inner Beauty Program Incorporated, New Breed of Youth, Lighthouse Academy Charter School South and East, Beach Grove Bible Church, and Sam Ash Music Store. Stay connected with us on all of our social media platforms, which is Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, and of course, download our Insight Sundays mobile app on the App Store and Google Play Store. Again, download our Insight Sundays mobile app on the App Store and Google Play Store. As always, Indianapolis, we have another spectacular show for you guys this week. This week, we'll be interviewing Kareem Hines from New Breed of Youth, or New Boy, as they'll be having a summer cookout event right here at Arlington High School. Let's check it out. Today, we'll be interviewing New Breed of Youth, also known as New Boys, and I am sitting here with Kareem Hines. How's it going, Mr. Kareem?
It's going well, Mr. Mickens. How are you? What's up, Indianapolis?
Pretty good, too, as well. I just want to touch bases. I know that you guys have a cool event coming up. It's called the Summer Block Party that's going to be held at Arlington High School. Can you give a little bit about all the good details about that event?
Definitely. New Boy in the Beauty, my wife's mentoring program, we have collaborated with a bunch of different mentoring and social services agencies throughout the city to put on the 2018 Safe Summer Youth and Family Celebration and Cookout. And the event was initially focused on providing an opportunity to get together all the young people from different sides of Indianapolis to come together in one pro-social, positive environment and just celebrate before the summer really kicked off. We want to put them in an environment where they were just getting a big group hug from all the different mentoring agencies, social services agencies, DCS, IMPD. And just giving them a big hug and saying, we love you. We hope you have a safe summer. Here's some activities, some programs, some resources for the summer, and one big fun-filled day where you're in a no judgment zone. We just want you to have fun, eat some good food, interact with some positive people, and hopefully motivate these young people to stay out of trouble for the summer.
And what's some of the events that you guys have in the lineup for that for the lineup that day?
We have a lot going on that day, Adrian. Thanks for asking. Let me see. We got a bounce house, about 3 bounce houses for the little people. We have face painting, airbrush painting. We have a video game truck. That'll be there for about 4 hours. About 20 young men at a time can go in and play PlayStation, Xbox,
2K,
2K, you know what, 2K, Madden, Call of Duty, you know, whatever they want to play, man. We have a dunk tank, IMPD, DCS. Our very own Judge Gaither has volunteered to be in the dunk tank.
Awesome, yes.
We have free food that day. We have a 12-team basketball tournament that'll be taking place throughout the whole day, which is going to consist of youth teams between the ages of 13 and 18 that'll be participating in a double elimination basketball tournament in Arlington High School. And that's kind of the centerpiece of the day because that activity, the basketball tournament, will be going on all day. So the dunk tank, the bounce houses, the sports field will be filled with a bunch of different activities for that day that kids can engage in. We have double dutch contests for the young ladies. So if you jump rope, you want to come out with a chance to earn some prizes that day, please come out. We have a double dutch contest. We'll have the finals later on that evening. What else is going on? We have I know I'm missing some things. They're going to kill me.
It's so much going on.
So much going on. But we have a free haircuts that'll be happening that day. We have martial arts workshops that'll be going on.
Come on now.
Vendors will be there. And the vendors are not there to sell anything. I want to make sure that's clear. Every vendor that will be in the house that day will be providing a resource to the community, something that these parents can come and make sure that their kids are engaged in for the summer. DJ, Hot 96 will be out. They're going to provide a DJ for the event. So we'll have the outdoor music. We're also going to have a DJ inside. That'll be providing the music for the basketball tournament, just to create that vibe. A big party. Big party for the whole day.
Let's touch bases a little bit about your journey, with starting New Boy itself. Can you explain the journey on how you came from New York all the way to Indianapolis and how everything just kind of came about?
Yeah, I know you don't have 3 days for me to tell a story. I'll try to condense it. I was a young boy, young man growing up in Harlem, mid 80s. My dad saw the need for me to engage in some positive activities because my environment was filled with a bunch of negative activities. So he needed something to counteract that, and he took me to the Harlem YMCA, where I started karate at the age of 6. The Y became my refuge. It became my home away from home. It was about maybe 200 feet away from my front door, the entrance to the YMCA. So I started martial arts in the YMCA. Day camp for me started in the YMCA. Everything pretty much started for me at the YMCA. And then I became almost like the hood ambassador. So I would, because of my connection to the YMCA, I was now able to get my friends into the YMCA. Because the YMCA, it's a paid entity. You have to pay to come into the Y. It's a membership-based facility. So a lot of the young men I was engaging with in the community, myself included, we didn't have 10 hours a day to go into the YMCA. So because I had that martial arts connection, I had that day camp connection, my mentor established a youth and teen program. Now this youth and teen program was called Light Nights at the Y. Okay. That provided a vehicle for now young people in the community to utilize the YMCA without paying. And when I saw his passion, and I got the passion from my karate instructor and working with me, and I saw how it provided me an opportunity to change my life. I didn't have to be in the streets now. There was a pull from the streets. I had fun. I did some things that I'm not proud of, but I always had an accountability to someone other than my friends in the streets. My karate instructor, my mentor. So I always had a vision when I had the opportunity, whether it was in New York City, Indianapolis, Texas, wherever. I wanted to start my own mentoring program and create relationships like relationships that were created within me in New York City. All right. Well, once you got here to Indianapolis, I know that you found your missus, which is Crystal Hines. And she takes care of the Inner Beauty program. How did she motivate you to push you more into working with the new breed of youth and creating that? Wow. Found my better half in Indianapolis. Shout out to Indy. My wife was a teacher. She was a teacher, and she had the Inner Beauty program, which was a 3-month kind of grooming program where they were grooming young ladies for a beauty pageant. So they would take these young women on a 3-month journey, culminating in the actual Inner Beauty pageant. So when I met her and she was realizing some of the things I was doing when I was mentoring, I was at the time mentoring for an organization called Boys to Men. Shout out to Lars Roscoe. Through my mentoring with Boys to Men, which was a year-round program, I told my wife, I said, you're doing some of the same things that we're doing within Boys to Men. You should maybe try to turn your 3-month program into a year-round program. And just to see her grind and take Inner Beauty from what it once was a 3-month program into a year-round program, and to put that character development, to instill that motivation and that empowerment in those young ladies. I at the time didn't have my own organization. Now I wanted my own organization because I watched her do it. So our relationship kind of evolved from a friendship established through mentoring to now partnering with Inner Beauty and New Boy.
All right. Being in the mentoring field for quite some time now, I know you guys have been doing it for how many years again, Mel?
I've been doing mentoring for about 15 years. So Chris had the Inner Beauty program for maybe 17.
So for about 15 years, what would you give as advice for somebody who is interested in mentoring? You and I both know that there are thousands and gazillions of mentor programs that are out there.
Definitely.
We're not going to name any. As we say, we don't like to throw any shade of any kind, but what can you lend as advice to make sure that they do things the correct way? Because I know that the youth today can spot a phony from a mile away. And a phony could be in many different things, but when it comes to mentoring, they know when somebody's just coming there just because they're getting a check to do it instead of doing it heartfelt. So how can you help anybody who wants to get started foundationally to do it the correct way, or if anybody wants to work with you?
That's a great question. You're right. There are a lot of mentoring programs popping up around the city, around the country. Some people have hidden agendas. One thing I can recommend is it has to grow organically. And what I mean by that is if you have a mentoring program and you have a passion or a vision to work with kids, you might want to start volunteering within the schools. Maybe go into the schools, volunteer. Don't go in asking for a what's your budget type conversation and how much are you want to pay to bring me in. Volunteer your program. Show that it works, Because right now it's all about outcomes. People want to see outcomes. You can have a great website, you can have a great program, but if you don't have positive outcomes and data that shows your program is effective, it's going to be hard to get paid, for your program. So I think a lot of mentoring organizations are kind of working backwards because they're putting the business in first and the mentoring last, as opposed to putting the mentoring in first and the business maybe come on the back end. What we try to be in Inner Beauty and New Boy is transformational mentors.
Gotcha.
A lot of mentoring agencies that are popping up, again, not throwing any shade at any particular organizations, but they're transactional. So they're looking for the transactions, the money first before looking for the transformation, with these young people. And like you said, young people can spot a phony from a mile away. But if you're coming from a transformational point of view where you really want to make a change, not only in the youth, but the family, and you're making a connection with the family, the transaction base will come.
Hello, my name is Crystal Hines of the Inner Beauty Program, where I'm the founder and president. We have been enriching and inspiring and empowering youth ages 8 to 18 since 2002. Our original purpose of the program is to have girls focus on their inner attributes in a world where the outer appearance is the focal point. We have a dynamic staff of women who are here to provide all types of programming for your young ladies, including life coaching, mentoring, tutoring, boot camps, and special events. Please stay connected with us through our website, myinnerbeautyprogram.org, our Facebook page, Inner Beauty Program Inc., and our mobile app, Inner Beauty. Thank you.
Download New Boy mobile app. Check out our features. Comprehensive homepage. Scheduled events. Real-time notifications. Latest news. Download on App Store and Google Play.
Hello, my name is Sister Ariane Anderson, and I am the Youth Director at Bethesda Temple Southeast Campus. Here at Bethesda Temple Southeast Campus, I have the opportunity to work with children of all ages. We offer so much for our children. They are a highlight of our church. Every Sunday, we offer youth services for our children, and every fourth Sunday of each month, we allow for our children to co-lead our services. Also, our youth nights are powerful. Every fourth Friday at 7 p.m., we come together in unity. During our youth nights, we get to praise, we get to worship, and our children get to fellowship with other children. At Bethesda Temple Southeast Campus, our pastor, Derek and Lady Valerie Miller, are committed to serving our youth. So come out to Bethesda Temple Southeast Campus. It's the place where God is.
Buttons and Bows Nail and Hair Salon welcomes you to our new location at 6233 Allisonville Road, where we service all nationalities. We are a full nail and hair salon. Booth space available. Call 317-362-0323 for more info.
Since 4th grade, Indianapolis Lighthouse College Prep has been my home.
Lighthouse gave me the opportunity to take college classes for dual credits.
Lighthouse allows me to do community service, mentoring younger students.
At Lighthouse, I take classes geared towards a career that I'm interested in.
I'm a Lighthouse Scholar from kindergarten to college.
I am a Lighthouse Scholar from kindergarten to college.
I'm a Lighthouse Scholar graduating this year and on my way to college. Apply at lighthouse-academies.org.
Beach Grove Bible Church. Beach Grove Bible Church. Beach Grove Bible Church. Beach Grove Bible
Church. During the last 5 years, National Heritage Academies ranked in the top 25% of U.S. schools for academic growth.
I'm learning a lot.
We want you to have academic success, but we want you to have emotional success.
They teach me to be a good person.
My children feel very safe.
That's why 92% of our parents recommend us.
We are in the business of producing excellent human beings. That's our legacy to the world.
Hello, everybody. My name is Pastor Aaron Boyd. I'm the pastor at New Vision Lighthouse. and we're located at the corner of 46 in Arlington and Devonton Plaza. We welcome you to come and worship with us every Sunday at 11 a.m. We have midweek Bible study on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Our mission is simply this: to let our light shine in our communities and in our families. You can like us on Facebook, visit us on the web at newvisionlighthouse.com. God bless you. Be careful and be prayerful.
I just got the best deal on my new guitar at Sam Ash.
I always get advice I can trust.
I got it in time for my gig.
The coolest selection of music and sound gear, always at the guaranteed lowest prices. Sam Ash, the real deal. Get zero interest financing for 24 months with your Sam Ash credit card.
You know, much like what you meant or just stated about, you know, there are mentoring companies all around the country that are sprouting out. What is the difference that you've seen between the needs from New York mentoring programs and working with the youth versus Indianapolis mentor programs and working with the youth?
I think every city has a hood. So, and they say every city has a hood, every hood is the same. Mm-hmm. That's kind of true. It's not a vast difference. Okay. There are a lot more kids in concentrated areas in New York City. All right. Indianapolis, the youth are a little more spread out. But what I see that I think is a common thread for successful mentoring programs, whether they're in New York, Chicago, LA, Indianapolis, is be relationship based. You have to come down and now meet these new culture of kids at their level. You know, back in the days, it was, well, I'm going to meet you halfway. You know, I'll meet you here. You have to meet me halfway. These kids these days are not on that meet me halfway type thing. You know, we have to be able to come down and show them that I relate to you. I might not have come where you come from, but I'm not here to judge you. I'm just here to not give you a handout, but a hand up.
And why do you think that is? You know, they aren't even, until you just, you know, you have to be there for some time and spend some time with them. We're talking months and years. Why do you think it's so hard now to break through with the young men than it was before, maybe a decade or 2 decades ago back in the 90s?
That's kind of cliche, but social media
information
has a grab on them. The information age, this music has a real hold on our kids. It really does. So, you know, when they listen to this music and this music are giving them these mixed messages about life, about death, about quick money, fast cars, sex, unhealthy relationships with females and females with males. It's hard to break that mentality when they've been getting this information for so long. And a lot of times, like in our program, we don't get young men referred to our mentoring program until they're 14, 15 years old. You know, the quoted Jay-Z lyric, you can't change a player's game in the ninth inning. We're getting these kids in the ninth inning. It's hard to try to change their mentality about life. It's hard to try to change their mentality about fast money, about the education process, because really there's been so much trauma that has happened in their lives up to the point when we get them. All we can try to do is reconstruct that mindset.
But speaking about that with the youth, how do you think the young men view our police officers today?
As adversaries. You know, I think the media has a lot to do with that. Rarely do you watch TV and see youth engaging with police officers in a positive way. And it is happening in some of our communities, but it's more sensational when you can show a white police officer shooting a black man, or even a police officer in general just having a negative interaction with a black man. That garners more views on social media. People turn the channel to watch breaking news. You know, police officer shoots another unarmed black man. But there are some positive things going on in the community in regards to the authority figures or law enforcement and young men in general. And I think the event on May 26th is what we're trying to do to help kind of bridge that gap. We're putting police officers and law enforcement agencies in a position to have positive interaction and positive engagement with not only our young people, but their families. But I think a lot of the young men right now, they look at TV, and then the hip hop, you know, trap music is huge right now, because some of their favorite rappers are going at the cops and their music. And when you put it to a beat and make it sound good, I might not believe in it, but now I'm listening to my favorite rapper saying it. So you know what? By the end of the song, I believe in it now. And it's like,
You know, one thing that I preach all the time, and try to teach whenever I do music classes and stuff, is that music is more than just a beat.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of the youth today, and some, youth even in their 20s, they believe that they're just listening to it for the beat. I know you've heard that before. I'm just listening to it for the beat. No, you're not, man. Those lyrics are seeping into your spirit slowly but surely, man. And before you know it, you reciting lyrics of death to yourself, and you don't even know it.
Yes, sir.
You don't even know it at all. And I speak from experience. Grew up in the 90s listening to Biggie Smalls and Tupac. And a lot of their songs are great, but a lot of them songs were speaking death. And I was that 17-year-old kid with the do-rag speaking death to myself, rapping these songs, man. So I got to be more conscientious, aware of what they're listening to when it comes to that music, because it does take a good hold on them.
We need the adults to take an active role in that too. You got to know what your kid is listening to. You might not like trap music, you might not like hip-hop, but your kid is listening to it. So you might want to become aware of the lyrics, and then you can help them break down the lyrics and process it in a different way. Because they're sitting with their friends. I guarantee you the way their friends are processing them lyrics with them, and the way you as a parent are processing those lyrics with them, two totally different points of view.
Yep, absolutely. What's some core foundational teachings or even mantras that you try to instill into your new boy young men?
One thing is your past does not have to dictate your future. We get a lot of young men in our program who have been involved in the juvenile justice system. They feel defeated. They feel like they've been told so many times that they won't be anything. So that's what they succumb to. So your past definitely does not dictate your future. Be accountable for your decision making. You didn't choose to be here, but now that you're here, you do have a responsibility, to yourself and your family to be the best you can be. And just solid relationships. Our young men have to learn how to start establishing positive relationships within the community. So many of our young men have negative relationships, whether it be at school, within the home environment, law enforcement, even with their peers. It's such a benefit to have positive relationships, and we help young men create resumes. It's really not about the resume when we're going through the resume creation. It's about us opening up a conversation, because we know all young men want a job. So we go through the whole resume process, but the most important part of the resume that we found is the reference part. Because when we get down to references, they have no idea what a reference is. And we say, it's just somebody that you will list on your resume that can speak positively about you to somebody that wants to pay you to work for them. Oh, my mama. You can't put your mom on the resume. Actually, you can't put a family member on the resume. It has to be someone that you've engaged with in the community, a teacher, social worker, maybe a friend that can speak positively about you. And what we find is kids don't have any.
And you guys showed them how to dress up too as well.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Again, we get a lot of young men who are on probation, so have to go to court. You cannot be in the New Boy Mentoring Program and go to court without a shirt and tie, or a very nice polo and some slacks. You'd be surprised how many young men actually go to court, juvenile court, white tees, T-shirts, pants hanging half off their butt, and they get corrected before they go into the court. But when they go into the court, the judge still sees you. You might have pulled your pants up, but you got on a dirty T-shirt and some jeans, which does not show respect to the court. And this court has your life in his hands. So we try to teach them, definitely put their best foot forward, and hopefully that transcends into life. So when you go on a job interview, that same outfit you wore for court, wear in a job interview.
And I asked that question because, again, that was something that happened to me in my youth. My parents were very big on being a stickler about dressing up. When you go in certain places, you got to address accordingly to where you're going. And I remember my very first job, when I got my car, we had to pay our insurance, so we had to have a job. That was the rule.
Right.
My first job was at Applebee's, and my mom made me dress up, and my dad, they both made me dress up. And I will never forget. I don't remember anything about the interview, not any of the questions, but I always remember this. He said, "You were the only one that has ever came in here and dressed up. Wow. All those adults, all the cooks, all the bar, everybody in there." He said, "You're the only one that came in here and dressed up for an interview," and that spoke volume to me. Definitely. As a young man at 17, that I was the only one. That dressing up probably got me the job. Was the icing on the cake. To be a 17-year-old kid, that probably was the icing on the cake. That little bit to get you over the hump.
Different faces with different places. Man.
Absolutely.
Teach it all the time.
Absolutely. How has it been working with the Gaither family? I know that you mentioned Judge Gaither. You and your wife, you guys do quite a few events with them throughout the year. How's it working with them?
Amazing. Judge Gaither is one of my role models. To see a African American male in the position of being a judge is in itself amazing and a motivating factor for me. But to see him step away from the bench and come into the community and engage with some of the young men that come into his courtroom in a positive environment. It's one thing to allow the young men to see you behind the bench. It's a whole nother thing to see that same man behind the bench come and support you at a community event, come and support you at a basketball game. He's actually come and seen young men that have come to his court for negative reasons engage in the basketball game, which now just gives him a more holistic view of the young man as opposed to just seeing him in court. So his journey, is amazing. We get to see him be a dad. He has a son who's on his way to college. So just to see him in the facets of his life other than the juvenile court has motivated me to be a better man, a better husband, and also a better dad. So it's definitely a positive in my life to have a friendship with Judge Gaither.
All right. Well, last two questions here. The first one is, I know that this week alone that you guys had experienced an award ceremony. Can you explain to the public the award that Crystal had received this week?
Definitely. Every year, the Department of Child Services hosts a trauma-informed care symposium, so to speak, where they bring all the social services providers together to talk about trauma-informed care, which all of the young people that we work with, whether it be in the juvenile justice system, Department of Child Services system, or maybe they're not in the system, what we're learning that is all young people have trauma. And a lot of times when we deal with these young people, we deal with the surface issues. What we don't understand, or even try to understand in some cases, is that there's so much going on beneath the surface. There's so many things that have happened to them, so many things that they've witnessed in their lives that contribute to their behavior. So at this trauma symposium, it happens once a year, bring all these service providers together just to open up the conversation about trauma, to try to help people better understand the type of youth we work with, to better understand trauma. And Crystal and the Inner Beauty program was awarded the Prevention Provider of the Year award. All
right. And once again, can you explain to everybody what's going on in Indianapolis on the 26th of this month at Arlington High School? One more time for everybody.
May 26th, come out. 2018 Safe Summer Youth and Family Celebration and Cookout. Food, basketball, double dutch contest, video game truck, bounce houses, dunk tanks, sports field, activities for the kids, face painting, airbrushing, and we have thousands of dollars worth of prizes that we are giving to the young people for free for that day. We just want to send our kids off in the best positive mindset that they can possibly have in order to promote and motivate them to have a safe summer. Just let them know we love you.
All right. And if anybody wants to get connected with New Boy or Inner Beauty, how do they get in contact?
Please, we have a website, newboynewbreedofyouth.org. There's also an Inner Beauty pageant, myinnerbbeautypageant.org. You can also reach me at 317-250-4417. My wife, Crystal Hines, you can reach her at 317-833-5810. Looking forward to hearing from you.
All right, there you have it, Indianapolis. We'll catch you guys at Arlington High School on May 26th.
Thank you, Indianapolis, for tuning in to another edition of Insight Sundays right here on AM 1310 The Light and Facebook Live. As always, Indianapolis, please make sure that you stay connected with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, and of course, by downloading our Insight Sundays mobile app on the App Store and Google Play Store. Again, download our Insight Sundays mobile app on the App Store and Google Play Store. Indianapolis, please make sure that you come out on May 26th right here at Arlington High School for the Summer Cookout presented by New Breed of Youth and Inner Beauty. And we will check you guys out next week.
This is a Soul Hit production.